Look how cool I look. We're gonna spend time in Disneyland and California Adventure over the next couple days, so don't be alarmed if my shirt color changes.
What? Of course I escaped. For those of you who have not been paying attention, the name's Rocket, one of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, I just got out of the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, which used to be the old Tower of Terror ride. Hey, it's grand. In California Adventure. So I will just say up front that I don't really do amusement parks very well. They go up and down and twist and turn. Teacups are the worst. So I'm feeling a little bit queasy, but what I always adore about Disneyland is their ability to use narrative and story in their theme park rides. And here, I feel very akin to that Guardians of the Galaxy universe where you're being taken through this journey of the collector's office, and then Rocket interferes, and then you're kind of being taken on this journey of helping him pull off this perfect heist. But travel companions, what did we think about the Guardians of the Galaxy ride? Yay or nay?
It was better than Tower of Terror.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I did it way better.
I think it's a little bit quicker though. I think it's a little bit
Yeah, it
faster.
goes really quick. I mean, and then I think there's, what, 6 or 7 different variations of this ride. Kind of like Star Tours, if you're familiar with that, where you always get a little bit of a different sequence when you go in there. All right, on to our next ride. All right, so before anyone says anything in the comments, yes, I look weird without glasses on, but I was supposed to be making a bunch of videos about this Disneyland and California Adventure experience. It hasn't really been happening. Got a lot of B-roll. I just wanted to talk about some of the heavy hitters. World of Color last night. Go. How did you like World of Color, Grant?
Well, I didn't get to see Neil Patrick Harris. That was kind of sad.
Yeah, this is a completely new setup from what I've been used to the last couple of years, but it was cool. It was basically all the, I don't know, like A+ material from all the 90s cartoons, and
There was a lot of fire though.
yeah, some of the Pirates of the Caribbean's music that I like quite a bit. Even not the movie so much, but the music's really good. Jen?
Yeah, the pyrotechnics were great.
I had to avert my eyes though.
Yeah, it was so, the fire was too hot to handle, too hot for TV. This morning, Indiana Jones, we liked a lot, right?
Always
Yes?
like
Love.
Oh yeah, we got a Mickey to commemorate it.
I've actually got merch to represent my love for this.
That's cool. What else did we do today?
Lots of stuff.
Star Tours.
Star Tours.
In order to keep you safe, I have been programmed to recognize all forms of suspicious human behaviors, including sweating, blinking, talking, laughing, and breathing. You're all acting very suspicious.
Star Tours is good. I got some sections that I'd never seen before.
You didn't get
which
to
is
see
good.
Episode 7 stuff.
No Episode 7 stuff, unfortunately. I guess we'll have to wait to see if I get that the next time.
You might get Episode 8 stuff the next time.
Yeah, by that point, who knows? What else did we do today? Why am I
Who Framed
blanking?
Roger Rabbit?
Who Framed Roger Rabbit is a cool ride to go on to. We did the Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Winnie the Pooh.
Oh
Winnie
yeah,
the Pooh.
Well, Winnie the Pooh, which is the Grant's favorite ride ever. Thanks for being a champ. Pirates of the Caribbean is always solid to go into. Haunted Mansion always is solid. I love there's this floating head effect, which will probably be playing right now, which I am a big fan of when it comes to Disney special effects and the Imagineers. And we just got out of the Tiki Room, which I will always say, as a preface, is probably the lamest thing to do in the park, but I love it. It's so much fun to me.
It's a
To just have-
tradition.
It's a tradition to just have a dull whip and have a bunch of birds sing at you and hear their flappy animatronic beaks like just snapping together to one another. So all in all, a good trip, and you'll probably see some fireworks and electric parade thing going on like now. So last night I went and watched the movie Baby Driver. This is the new film that's directed by Edgar Wright, who I am a huge huge fan of. If you're not familiar with what his other films are, he directed what some people will call affectionately the Cornetto trilogy, which is Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and End of the World. Also directed Scott Pilgrim, was supposed to direct Ant-Man, but then left that project because of some creative differences. And here we are now with his new film, Baby Driver. Let's start with what I think are the positives, which is, as with every single one of his films, I think that it is cast expertly. I think that the music inside of the movie works really, really well. Like, it just matches the action. In fact, one of the biggest pluses about this movie is really notice the sound engineering. There is sound effects that are matched to the beat of the music. There is like syncopation with what is happening on screen, with what's happening to your ears, which is what is happening with the background music. It's just a beautiful combination of everything. The story is fairly basic in that we have this main character named Baby, played by Ansel Elgort, who had this trauma in his childhood and is now needing to drown out the tinnitus that's in his ears by wearing headphones and earbuds all the time while listening to music. And he's been pulled into this seedy underbelly of crime, and he is the getaway driver for all of these different robberies that are happening throughout the city, where they introduce him to some other characters throughout the whole thing. My mixed bag is this. I honestly believe, and I know that this is getting a lot of good buzz, but I honestly think this is the weakest Edgar Wright movie that I've seen. While I think the first half does this really great, like, setting up of the plot, like what is going to happen, the backstory to our main character, the interesting side characters that are brought in and their kind of backstories, all of this is really fascinating. I think it's all handled really, really well. Where it gets to, though, in the last half of the movie, I think it kind of falls apart a little bit. Interesting that this movie called Baby Driver does not end in a car chase. It's just kind of an odd thing, I think, that happens. That's kind of a minor nitpick. But the bigger thing is that it almost switches genres. This is, of course, like a B movie. It is a genre piece. But it feels like it goes into like a gory revenge flick almost, instead of this kind of upbeat, fun heist movie that it's been. Well, I shouldn't say heist movie, but like robbery movie that's been for the first half of its runtime. The other big criticism is the female lead in this movie. And this is something that I might have to throw shade a little bit at Edgar Wright, and not just him specifically, but a lot of directors. Whereas I don't really know anything about her. I know she's a waitress. I know she likes Baby. That is her character. There doesn't seem to be anything that's pulling her through the movie. There doesn't seem to be any arc for her at all. We're just supposed to believe and expect that she's going to go on this crazy plan with our main character just because they've had one date. And I'm getting a little bit sick of movies that kind of treat their female leads as just props. And this film really feels like she's just a prop set up there to fill out some story beats. So those are kind of my nitpick criticisms. I think there is still fun to be had here. Some of the car chases are really well executed. Like I said, the music is really well done. This movie is extremely funny in parts. And my lover, Kevin Spacey, is in this movie as kind of the big tough guy, mob boss sort of thing. And he does a great, great job. And everyone does a great job in this movie with what they're given. I just wish that more effort had been given to that female lead, and that there was a little bit more of an emotional payoff to the story instead of where it ends up. Anyways, Baby Driver. It's a good movie, just not a great one.